welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we have an interesting making it video. And I kind of messed up. I got a little bit excited about the start here. Um, One dark had to go over to the left, and one of the blues went over to the right to balance this thing out. Just one strand each. But I was so focused on getting that done that I had forgotten to hit record until after I'd put them on either side and then started with one of the darks that starts on both sides just to get the things anchored together. But then I get right at it. So this is an interesting one. This pattern started out as a 17 string pattern, but I turned around and made it an 18 string because that kind of made more sense. And I don't know if you saw a while back, I did a video short about the Kumi for this, which the Kumi is amazing. Like seriously, go check out the short. Check out how that turned out. We actually had to come up with a new method because there's 18 individual strands, right? Making it like doubled up 18 coming down for the whole bracelet, right? So yeah, it would be like 9 strings. It would be how I would normally like map this out, like for my graph papers and stuff. Anyways, um, supposedly you can't do a kumi with that count, and so I told Mandy what my thought was, and she went and she gave it a try, and lo and behold, it worked out amazing. So yeah, that's a whole lot of fun. Um, so this was the pattern that was submitted by Anna Hanna, and this is the one that had two different patterns over on Bracelet Book. It was 37434 and 156267. I had an epiphany right after making this. What if one of those two patterns was actually closer to the way I designed it? And so I actually went back after all of this and had a look see. And no, they're both just the strings just kind of zigzag back and forth. So I am going to suggest that Anna Hannah tries making it my way because I honestly, after having made this, okay, so before, right, in the pattern making part, I was really undecisive. I'm like, I'm not sure, but I think my way might be better. After having made this, oh man, hands down, I really honestly believe in my heart that my way is so much better. There's there are a few spots I did have to watch the pattern to see when the having to change directions or whatever happened. Like that light blue that just came down, it changed directions and rechanged the direction of the darker one there. You do have to watch for the occasions it happens, but there's a lot of really long straight rows in this. And that really honestly that helps speed things along so much. Um, Especially like this the light blue row that's coming up next. It's almost a straight shot all the way across. It just doesn't quite get there because it stops right before the end. It ends on the blue one, but they're long straight rows, and then the next pieces you just kind of follow the way that I did it. um it's honestly, I gotta believe this is so much faster. There's so much more segments that you can stay focused in and get large areas done and stuff. It just makes so much more sense to me. So yeah, hopefully she'll do it and then she can get back with us, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video or something to talk about it, but or even just a video short. But yeah, um, it really does make a big difference. So yeah, thank you for this opportunity to try something. Just it is so different. It really is so different. Um, it it lacks a lot of symmetry. There's just so much kind of going on with it, but it's a really good looking bracelet. I have to say. I mean, and I like the colors that were chosen. It's kind of a dark purplish red, maroonish red. kind of color with a, I almost want to say it's almost a sky blue, um, but the contrast is great, which I think this kind of pattern really needs that good strong contrast. And doing something other than just black and white, or just the usual things is kind of fun for me. I really like um, going for the contrast in things that aren't typically thrown together. So I feel this has a bit of that. This video is sped up quite a bit. I think it's like 5 times the speed, because it took 2 hours to actually of tying knots to make this bracelet. So a little bit longer. There were a few breaks in there. I think there was dinner and some other stuff happening. Got up to go to the toilet or whatever. But when you put in just the amount of time for each one of the segments of the video, it was about 2 hours. So yeah, I mean, and when I say about, I'm talking. It was like 118 minutes or something crazy like that. 116 minutes. So yeah, it was really, really, really close to 2 hours. Um, but yeah, this was a fun one to put together. It's obviously it's a little bit wider than I would normally go with, right? Because normally I would do like an 8 string or 16 coming down. So this is 9. But the neat part there too is that you end up with an even amount for the braids on the end, right? So that's kind of cool. Like I haven't had that before. I mean, I don't really do these numbers, so I might play with this again, just because it's not too giant huge. I mean, it's a, let's put on my wrist here. It's a decent big-ish kind of bracelet, bigger than I normally do, but it's still nice. It's still really, really nice. Um, Gosh, it felt like there was like so many things I wanted to say, and like I'm afraid that maybe I already said it all. Oh, this red row here, this one is another. This is a great spot to end. There are two of the light blues together, and this red one goes to the first of those two light blues. Like, how awesome is that? That you've got this visual marker to let you know when it comes to an end. It just made doing this so much easier. It was really great. Like, I don't know. It's, yeah, yeah. I'm kind of wondering. I might ask somebody to maybe put my pattern into the various websites, because honestly, I really truly believe that this one has got to be a whole lot easier than the original thing was. So yeah, and so I kind of get the gist of that original one, right? The gist is, if you just keep them in a zigzag row, you can make any given knot throughout the whole bracelet either of the two colors. Therefore, you can make any kind of image or design or stuff imaginable. That makes sense. I get it. That's cool. However, when it comes to knotting, there's an excessive amount of right left and left right knots. And those can make things a little bit wonky. It can kind of make your bracelet look a little bit sloppy, as well as it makes it harder to do segments. It's easier for people who like to go one straight row across the bracelet at a time and come down in small chunks, um, which is not anything like segment knotting at all. Like, that's kind of the opposite, right? So um, that's where I honestly I think this one here really changes everything as far as that goes. This really makes it so that way um, I could stay concentrated in one little area at a time and just kind of run with it, right? It's Yeah. I mean, not to heap too much praise on myself, right? Because honestly, when I started making the pattern, I hadn't actually even looked over to see how they did it. I just went at it with my normal, whatever, tenacity, I guess. Um, Only to later realize, like, I wonder, and then look and find, like, nope, that's not even close to what they did. So yeah, I don't know. I still say this is the better way of doing it. It really is. And anybody else who wants to take up the challenge, try it both ways and get back to me. I will give you a shout out. I will show your bracelets and we can talk about it. And, like, depending on how much information you give me, it's most likely shorts, right? But I'll give you a shout out and we can let the world know that there's other ways of doing this stuff. So, yep, here comes the red one, goes just over the first blue. And then I have to make um, the little diamond-y thing on the side. And it's hard to tell, but I think as I was moving along through this, I think I was kind of picking up speed. I was getting more and more and more accustomed to the pattern. Still looking. I still had it pulled up, the PDF from my website. I still had that pulled up, but um, I was way more sure of myself and sure of what ways things were going um, the further I got along. Like the little part there, like the inside of the spiral or whatever, like that's probably like the most fiddly bit of the whole thing. Um, yeah, there's a lot of like spots where you suddenly have to change your direction um, in order to have a color end up where it needs to be. But there's surprisingly there's not as many of that kind of things going on as I had first expected it to be. And that was felt really good. Like that was pretty darn awesome. That it's just regular left and right knots for the majority. Like here, comes down straight, and on the last one, it goes left and then right. And then that first blue one has to go left and then right in order to come in there like that, and then it changes off with that red. Little things like that. But like I said, there's way fewer than I thought there was going to be. And then now, like this red here, this one just goes all the way straight to the end. And um, that's how I kept the very last string from being stuck as a straight row coming down. I just every time it came across, I just went straight. I didn't zigzag it like you normally would with like a straight edge kind of thing. Because when you look at the pattern, you might think, oh, look, there's a red line running straight down it. That must be straight edge. It's not. I kept going straight with it. So that way it would keep exchanging that string with something else. And because everything else is getting mixed further up, it really made it so that the strings don't have one that gets used a great deal and another one that doesn't get used at all. And that too is pretty cool. Like that's pretty awesome. Like it almost makes me want to put directions on my pattern just to kind of prove that point, or to make the point of like just run with it kind of thing. But I'm not going to the trouble of putting little arrows all over. That's just go with what seems easy. Makes way more sense to me. Way, way, way more sense. Yeah, see that first blue one has to come out and go straight, and then the other one can kind of comes to the left and then to the right to come down. So like there's like this little weirdness of trading off the directions and stuff in order to make um, that whole little part of the spirally thing work. Like yeah, that red came out to the left and then to the right to come down. Um, There's like, yeah, right in that area, there's a lot of little trading up and stuff going on. But it works. It works perfect. It's awesome. So I'm not sure how far into this I am. I think there's like two more complete rows. I was gonna try to keep track on this, um, but I failed. But yeah. Um, hey, now might be a good time because the ends on these videos come really quick, right? Good time to thank my Patreon supporters who make these tutorials possible. I really can't do it without them. If you want to help support the channel, you can join me over on patreon.com/AKA AWOL. And yeah, the money goes towards things like the cameras and the sound equipment, things that have helped make these videos better. I don't know if you've seen the really old ones, but they were terrible. My next purchase I want to do is to exchange this camera. It's nice and it's supposed to be able to do 4K and stuff, but if I do put it on 4K, it it crashes my computer essentially, and it doesn't have it's not I can't zoom very far with it or anything, so I have to have it really kind of close to my face, and I kind of want to put it further away. So I want a camera with it that's got more zoom to it. So that's the plan. That's the hopes. That's where I want to take this stuff next, but we'll see. Um, do, 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 do. What else can I tell you about this? Yeah, the Kumi. That was a big thing. Like that I'm super proud of. I was a little surprised that the video for that, it was just a short, but I was a little surprised that that short didn't get better traction. I expected that to be one of those things that, set the whole Kumi community ablaze with, whoa, I didn't think we could do that. Because, like, there's patterns available for Kumis on like friendshipbracelets.net. Um, but it's only in the standard numbers. It's only in 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. um so 18 is just like, you know nobody does that. So yeah, I was really pleased with the notion of coming up with a method that I don't know. I told my wife what I thought and she went and followed it. So I mean, I don't know if I guess it's my idea, right? Because um, I instructed her, so I feel like it's mine. But she's the one that actually did it. So kudos to her for actually, you know, making the Kumi and going through all the trouble of the work of actually doing the thing. But yeah. What else? Well, um, I think the rest of this week is basically making it videos. So, because last week we did all the patterns, this week I'm actually going to make them. And basically, these videos are harder. These ones take a whole lot longer to do. So, I'm not sure I'll actually get around to much of anything else, but whatever, it's cool. I still like doing these ones. I like letting you know how a pattern went because I think that's sort of important too. Like if this thing had been a nightmare, just imagine, right? If this thing had been a nightmare, um, you would want to know that, right? That's why you're here. It's not just about like my voice for while you're nodding. You kind of want to know which patterns are fun and which ones are not fun or not fun. KNOT fun. Yeah. So yeah. Um, yeah, this one was fun. This one was a lot of fun. And of course, I basically sabotaged myself just now. Um, when I go through the closed captions to make this available for other languages, I'm going to have to sort out all the various times that I said not and make it the correct versions, whether it's the NOT versus the KNOT. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Something to look forward to. Another reason why these videos take so darn long. Oh well. So yeah, we're getting towards the end now. I'm not sure if it's there's one or two to go, but we're getting towards the end. So yeah, you've stuck through with this video now for a good, what, 20 minutes. So kudos to you. Thank you. It's actually really helps out the channel a lot. We're trying to get to the 4,000 hours needed to monetize this channel. So watching the video this long really, really does help me out an awful lot. If you want to continue helping, check out one of the playlists. Like there's a whole bunch of them now. And I've added a bunch of the videos that actually weren't in playlists earlier. So maybe you have watched, say, the intermediate one. If you go back and watch it again, you might actually catch some new videos that kind of flew under the radar there because I somehow did that. I don't know. I don't know how or why. I guess earlier on I wasn't doing playlists, and later when I was adding stuff to it, I might have not caught the earlier videos. This is a sign we're getting to the end. You see that? We're leaving the strings off on the left-hand side. That's because that's the part of the diamond part that comes down. So yeah, we are very close to the end. And yeah, very exciting. I love it. And like this red one now goes all the way, right? Oh no, it still cuts off. I see the two blue. So yeah, it was this was such a nice pattern. It really was. I'd be tempted in actually making it again. If I wasn't like so backed up with trying to get these videos out, I would probably make this again with some other colors, play with it. Maybe like a red and orange or something. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, give me your thoughts on this. Oh, and if you have bracelet pattern numbers that you want to send in for the blindsided creations, send those in. Just tell me how many strings they are, what the pattern number is, and which website it's on. And don't send links so that way I get a preview of what it is, because the whole idea is I get surprised by it, right? So yeah, do that, and you can be featured in one of my videos. So yeah, that's always fun. Thank you again to Anna Hannah for this challenge. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.